associated with Spa. It's actually been quite pleasant so far this weekend. Very pleasant day yesterday, if a little bit windy, but sunny and warm. We don't have as much wind today as we do yesterday, although still a very neat breeze. So far this weekend, very pleasant day yesterday, but it is really a very pleasant race we are looking forward to seeing today. Now, as with yesterday, we have Nikola Solov on pole position. You see him there on the on the left-hand side of your screen, the blue car, number 12, the Alpine Academy car. Second on the grid in the white and black machine is Hugh Barter. Now, he finished second in yesterday's race, and their third on the grid in the kind of orange car is Valerio Rinicella. He finished third in yesterday's race. So the grid today for the front of this field is the same as the top three yesterday. And it was quite a battle, actually. Initially, Barter actually led the race from Solov after Barter got passed on the first lap. Rinicella then eventually took second place from Barter after Barter had been passed by Solov, and then right at the end, Barter retook the second position. And quite a bit of action yesterday. We had some incidents, a couple of safety cars, but thankfully all was fine. It should be expected, I think, to a degree on such a large field. And as I've mentioned, it is 31 entries so far for this weekend. I was about to get going. Now, the cars, they're getting away from the dummy grid. It's actually on the old pit lane. This is on the run down into Eau Rouge. The race will start from the regular start-finish straight, but such is the number of entries we have this weekend, and it's 31, we have actually had the dummy grid kind of get away from the old pit lane. As you see, the marshal on the side of the track, he's just putting up the 15-second board. We should be able to get going soon. He's got his green flag in hand. He's waiting patiently to get the signal to wave it so we can get this dummy grid going. And I'll go through the field with you then. As you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, this is race 2, 18 minutes plus 1 lap, and the field does get away. As we see the bottom end of the source, and the car's now coming. They've gone through Eau Rouge, up Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight, and I will go through the grid with you now for race 2. A 31st position is a debutante driver this weekend, Aurelia Nobels for Formula de Campagnos. Not sure if this is a full season entry, but definitely for this weekend at least. Then on row 15, starting 30th, we've got Nelson Nito for Cram Motorsport, another debutant there. It's 2 minutes 28.138 for him. Then Lola Lovenfoss starts 29th. Row 14, Alvaro Garcia starts for Formula de Campagnos in 28th position, just behind Ethan Isher for Sandlock Racing. I'll go through that entry in a few moments' time. Jaff Mackill starts 26th to Monlau Motorsport, 2 minutes 27.010 for him. He's just behind Ricardo Grazia for GRS. Starting 24th on the 12th row of the grid is Philippe Jenik for Campos Racing. He was P3 in the second practice session yesterday. He was not able to turn that pace into a good qualifying run, or a positive qualifying run, I should say. Then 23rd, Max Markinchelski. He went out in the opening lap yesterday for DriveX Racing, had an incident with Max Meyer. 22nd on the grid is Danny Nogales for Tio Martin Motorsport. He is just behind Vladislav Ryabov, who's 24th, at 2 minutes 26.619 for him. Row 10. Max Meyer, as mentioned, he had an incident with Max Markinchelski yesterday, didn't get past the first lap. He'll be hoping for more today from 20th position. The former de Campagnos driver there, 2 minutes 26.613. Marcus Flack, a debutant this weekend for GRS Racing. He starts 19th, just behind Cram Motorsports' Anshul Gandhi, who's 18th, and Miran Pinkasov, who starts 17th. He had an incident yesterday, lost his rear wing, and did not complete the race. Sebastian Gravlund is 16th on the grid for MP Motorsport at 2 minutes 26.015 for him, just behind Timotheus Kacharczyk, second in the championship, but 15th on the grid. Disappointing for him. He'll be hoping to make his way through the field. He'll be hoping to have some green flag laps to actually do that today. He didn't finish yesterday either. Theophil Neal for Santalok Racing. This is his debut. It's also the team's debut in Formula 4. They tested quite extensively earlier on this season, but this is their first race. 2 minutes 25.881 for Neil. Then 13th on the grid, Zulman Zanfari for MP Motorsport. He's just behind Ricardo Escoto for Cram Motorsport, who stalled yesterday. That is just behind the 11th position man of Christian Ho for MP Motorsport at 2 minutes 25.431. Now into the top 10. 10th on the grid, Robert De Haan for Monlau Motorsport. He started 10th yesterday, got himself in the top 6 and stayed there. Good points for the young Dutch racer at 2 minutes 25.424. Then Bruno Del Pino, 9th on the grid for DriveX Motorsport, just behind Sanopol Intrapuvazak for MP Motorsport. He started 10th yesterday, but fell out of the points by the end. 2 minutes 25.378. 7th on the grid is Gail Julian for DriveX Racing. That's 2 minutes 25.346 for Julian. And then on 6th on the grid is Manuel Espirito Santo for Campos Racing at 2 minutes 25.1. Just behind Kirill Small, who had a good qualifying yesterday, front row of the grid, but came home 4th. He starts 5th today for MP Motorsport. Now in the top 2 rows of the grid, George Kelstrup for Campos Racing, 2 minutes 24.992. Just behind Valerio Rinicello for MP Motorsport at 2 minutes 24.722 for him. He got a podium yesterday and was also P3 in FP1 and 2. Second on the grid, front row, Hugh Barter for Campos Racing, the white and black machine. He was P2 in FP1, P2 in FP2, and P2 in the race yesterday, so 224.571. And as they pull up onto the start-finish straight to get into their grid slots to begin this race, the blue entry, the number 12 for Campos Racing, the Alpine Academy Junior, Nikola Solov. He was fastest in FP1 and FP2. He won Race 1 yesterday, has claimed 10 out of 12 poles so far this season, has had 6 consecutive wins, 7 wins overall, and leads the championship by quite a margin. Nikola Solov with a 2 minutes 24.457. He's also got every single fastest lap so far this season, and the grid has formed up, and we are about to start this race. At the back of the grid, just lining into their slots. It's a long time to be waiting if you're Solov at the start of the grid. And the marshals just pulling into position. We're going to wait for the green flag from the back of the field. There's a young man probably in a white shirt there. He's about to wave that green flag. And the lights come on. The marshal at the back going across the field with his green flag. 3 lights, 4, 5. And they're out. And we do have a race start. And Solov gets away well. Rinicello does so too. Barter slots behind into 3rd position. But Solov leads this race. Barter and Rinicello going side by side through La Source. And it does look as if Barter has maintained a little bit of a gap. Kira Small going side by side with Kelstrup. But I think Kelstrup has the advantage as they go through Eau Rouge. Barter maintains 2nd place, but Rinicello is going to be on his lead. Small takes Kelstrup for 4th place as they come out of the exit of Eau Rouge and up to Radion, down to the start finish or Kemmel Straight. Solov continues to lead, but he's got Barter on his tail. And Rinicello is right there as well as they're coming alongside into Le Combe. Solov has the inside, Barter in the middle, Rinicello on the outside, but Solov, I do believe, has held the lead coming into Bruxelles. The medical and safety cars at the back of the field. Someone very, very slow away. Solov has maintained the lead. He's kept it, but Barter's held ahead of Rinicello. Small there, still in 4th place, keeping a watching distance. We've got someone out braking themselves coming through the corners with no name. And a fantastic and feisty battle on this opening lap. 5th place is Kelstrup. He is going to be maintaining a battle just ahead of Espirito Santo in 6th position. You see the back runner coming through. Solov continues to lead. Barter 2nd. And Solov has been absolutely imperious for much of the season. Took him a while to really get into his groove of the opening round. He was struggling when actual race starts. But ever since he's managed them, he's actually been almost unstoppable as we look at a wonderful shot of the long shot of Longchamp with the cars now coming into bus stop. Solov continues to lead, Barter 2nd. Rinocella is still there in third position. Small fourth, Kelstrup under pressure from Espirito Santo, and I think he may have lost out as several drivers go well off the circuit in order to get around the final corner. So many battles there for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, and more locked wheels, but it is Solov who continues to lead. Going down the field, the likes of Filip Genic in 18th place at the moment. Adrian Puvacek 10th, lost a couple of positions again on the opening lap. And if you're wondering where the second in the championship draw, oh, we have an incident. That is the number 8 and number 35. That is the Formula Campaños racer of Alvaro Garcia and Sebastian Gravland. Gravland was involved in an incident yesterday as well. That has not ended particularly well for them. I was about to say, second in the championship, Timothy Skacharczyk currently running in 20th position. Now, it'll be interesting if the race will be neutralised. There is a yellow flag in turn 1 only as it stands at the moment. More locked wheels. There was a third car involved. I'm not sure if that is one of the Monlau Motorsport entries that may have also been involved. And it was Jeff Mackills involved in that as well. But not entirely sure to what extent. And the safety car has been deployed. The race will slow up somewhat. We have timing and scoring on screen now. Solov leads this race from Hugh Barter. Rinocella third. Smal is fourth. Gail Julien took Kelstrup for 5th place with Espirito Santo 7th. Robert De Haan up from 10th to 8th. Bruno Delpino still 9th. Adrian Puvacek is 10th. Escotto, good job for him. He's 12th. Christian Ho, Escotto was 11th. Christian Ho is 12th. And my timing and scoring updates itself as well. Zuliman Sanfari is running 13th ahead of Theophil Neal. Miran Pengasov is currently 15th ahead of 16th place Anshul Gandhi. David Nogales is 17th. Filip Genic 18th now. Max Meyer is 19th. Timothy Skacharczyk is 20th. Vladislav Ryabov 21st. Ricardo Grazia is 22nd ahead of Sebastian Gravland, who had that incident into turn 1. That's about it. Update itself in a few moments' time as we see the tractors getting rid of these stricken cars. We are showing on screen that Kelstrup has gotten past Gail Julien, so I wonder if that is something that was possibly, maybe it was a bit close to the bone when the safety car was pulled out. I wonder if they've been asked to actually swap positions back. And so the safety car out with Nikola Solov leading this race ahead of Hugh Barter. Valerio Rinocella. It was very, very tight between those top 3 on that first lap of the race. And but none of the 3 changing positions, really held their stances as firm as possible. And Kirill Small, 4th position. Started 5th, so made positions today, having lost some yesterday. Race neutralised for the moment before an incident on the opening lap of the race between Jack Mackills, Sebastian Gravlund and Alvaro Garcia, the GRS, MP Motorsport, and Formula de Campagnos car entries, respectively. And we had, as I said, a couple of safety cars yesterday for several incidents around the circuit, one of which took out championship contender Timotheus Katarczyk. And the weekend still not quite going the way he would wish. I mentioned he's further down the field, actually dropped even further down. He's now running 28th. And I wonder if he's had another incident somewhere along the line. And for those who were, we may actually maybe go green very shortly. The marshal on the starting gantry has got his green flag in his hand. The safety car lights are out. He's made a massive gap to the field, and that is signaling that Nikola Solov would have packed the bunch up and will be getting ready to get this race going in a few moments' time. If you are looking for timing and scoring and looking for streams, always go to the Spanish Formula 4 website. You will find the links for everything you need there. As Solov leads Barter coming through the bus stop chicane, there's just a right, a short shoot, and then a very tight left, and we will get this race going once again. The safety car pulls into the pit lane. No overtaking until after they cross the start-finish line. Solov leads, Barter on his tail. Rinicella currently in third place, Small fourth, Kaelstrup fifth. Julien going down to take Kaelstrup into fifth place. He does into the source, well done. But Small is under pressure from, Rinicella's under pressure from Small as they come down Eau Rouge into Raidillon. Solov has a little bit of a gap over Barter as they come up the hill, over the crest and onto the Kemmel Straight. The curves to the right-hand side, and Julien being pressed by Kaelstrup there for 5th and 6th positions. Small is trying to go through for 3rd place to take Rinicella, and I think he may have made the move coming into Les Combes. And there's more tyre smoke as drivers lock up going into the chicane. Solov leads. Barter is in 2nd place. And Rinicella, I believe, may have actually just held out and kept that 3rd position for the moment. He scored 2 podiums so far this season. He'll be hoping to make that a 3rd. And lots of tyre smoke, and a lot of, with this being the shorter race, this is the race where a lot of drivers will probably use the top tyres they've already used in practice. They've had a few laps on them. They're not going to use them for the rest of the session, with this being a shorter race. You probably extract more out of them. And Solov, once again, he's felt the pressure from behind, and he's absolutely made sure that Hugh Barter stays firmly behind. Meanwhile, there was an incident on track. It looks as if Miran Penkasov has dropped right down the order. We have 6 minutes and 45 seconds plus 1 lap remaining in this race. Solov exits the final corner, goes on to the short chute down towards the source. Hugh Barter's there, but he's not close enough quite yet. 4 laps completed. We're now on lap 5. Hugh Barter in 2nd place. Small is up to 3rd. Rinicella's 4th. And as we saw, Julien had taken Kaelstrup on the last lap. And Solov really is building up a bit of a gap now to Barter, but will Barter be able to draw back in on the Kemmel Straight, such as the length of the straight down there. You can really get a good draft and draw in a gap. Solov was half a second faster last time around, as we see Small and Rinicella going forward once again. It is Rinicella to the inside, and Rinicella has retaken third position as we see Inter Puvazak go through the screen. Solov, Barter, and I do believe Rinicella has gone through. Yes, he has retaken Small for third position. Solov, as it stands, also has the fastest lap in this race. And the bonus point that goes for that. And with Kacharczyk not very, very unlikely to score today, it seems as if Solov will extend his championship lead even further. But there's still 5 minutes plus one lap of this race remaining. Anything can happen. Solov being chased by Barter. Barter is there, but not quite close enough at the moment. They're very, very similar times that they are setting. But Solov has just enough to really keep Barter at bay. As we see the back end of the field coming through. As they enter into the Blanchimont kink. Solov, Barter, etc. well past that point at this moment as we complete the fifth lap of this race. And Barter has set the fastest lap of the race and taken a few tenths out of Solov that time around. And Kirill Small and Rinicella going side by side. And Small has retaken Rinicella for third place. Kelstrup is back up to fifth. Gail Julien in sixth. Robert De Haan up to seventh. Another position, another few points for him. He's overtaken Espirito Santo with Inter Puvazak in ninth position. Ricardo Ascotto closing out the top 10. Barter is on Solov's tail, but is he close enough to get a draft, to pull to the inside, maybe move? Small and Rinicella side by side again, and Rinicella just holds Small. And Rinicella has been doing that all weekend when Esri's been over under pressure from a driver from behind. Really does lean on them and brings them right to the edge of the circuit as they do go into the Lacombe corner. And the field really all challenge. So many changes and challenges for positioning a 31 car field. And we only have a couple of laps left in this race, I feel, with Solov leading this race. The Alpine Academy supported driver with Hugh Barter just behind. On the sixth lap of this race. And we're going to be coming through into Blanchimont shortly. You can see here, Rinicella really does edge drivers out. He's been doing that for this weekend, and it's legitimate. He's not pushing cars firmly onto the grass or anything like that. He is defending his position. But you've got to be very, very wary when you're up against Rinicella. And Kirill Small has been very much aware. Solov keeps ahead of Hugh Barter. The gap is only a few tenths of a second. And Solov has reset the fastest lap, but it's only a tenth or so over Barter. It's really very, very, very small. Small ahead of Rinicella now. Got Gail Julien, and De Haan has got ahead of Kelstrup. Kelstrup has fallen down to 7th. You can see there Bruno Del Pino, by the way, also up to 9th place, having taken Inter Puvazak, and also Scotto has fallen down a position. This will be the penultimate lap of this race as Hugh Barter makes a move for the lead. as it goes to the inside, and he does take the lead. He does take Nikola Solov on the entry into Lucan. And George Kelstrup trying to go down the inside of both Robert De Haan and Gaël Julien there into the chicane. Hugh Barter leads. Solov wasn't quite as swift coming through the Eau Rouge Raidillon sweeps, and it's given Hugh Barter a draft, and he has swept through into the lead of this race. Kirill Small still in third position, but the front two have broken away from them quite significantly. Runacella, I do wonder maybe if he was actually running quite older tyres than everyone else. This has been an absolutely frantic few laps as we come towards the end of this race. 6 completed, we're on lap 7. You get a replay of Hugh Barter drafting up to Nikola Solov, and you get a really good powerful slipstream coming down the Kemmel Straight, and it was just enough. And you get a little bit of instability there from Hugh Barter as he slammed on the brakes. Also another driver slamming on the brakes was George Kelstrup there. As we're coming through now to complete the penultimate lap. This is the final lap of the race, and we'll go on to lap 8. Hugh Barter leads. Solov now in second place. Hugh Barter, by the way, set the fastest lap of the race that time around, 2 minutes 24.7. Not only a little bit slower than his actual pole position, his front row lap time. So brilliant effort. Small continues to run in third. Runacella is fourth. Robert De Haan up to fifth. George Kelstrup 6th. Espirito Santos 7th. Bruno De Pino 9th. Ricardo Escoto is there as well. Gaël Julien has dropped down into 10th place as Solov challenges for the lead. Doesn't quite make it through. Robert De Haan going side by side with Kelstrup, but he too maintains his position as they come through the... And Solov has retaken the lead. Solov has gone past in the Bruxelles corner, just off camera. And Nikola Solov has taken Hugh Barter for the lead. Hugh Barter now only has a very brief opportunity coming down into Blanchimont to take this lead back again. Small continues to be third. Runacella in fourth position. Fantastic drive. A fantastic race we've seen. Oh, Jack Michaels going there. So Robert De Haan going off the circuit there, nearly losing it, kept it on. Well done. Was it coming into Blanchimont now? A fantastic battle between the front two in this race, but it looks at the moment as if Solov has retaken the advantage. As we wait for the drivers to come through the back end section, and Solov has maintained that gap from Barter. Solov going a little bit wide into the bus stop chicane, but Barter's not close enough to take advantage as they come through the final corner. It's a very tight left-hander, but Nikola Solov more than has enough of an advantage to take the win ahead of Hugh Barter. Kirill Small secures his podium ahead of Runacella. Robert De Haan in 5th place ahead of George Kelstrup. So Kelstrup has now been swapped behind, and Kelstrup's been swapped ahead of Robert De Haan, with Espirito Santo coming home in 7th, Bruno Del Pino 8th, Ricardo Escoto 9th, and Tisanopol Interbuzak rounding out the top 10. He got past Gaël Julien on the last lap of the race. The driver is straight through to the podium area. Slightly different top 3 from yesterday. Smile finished 4th yesterday. Rinnicella was 3rd. That has been swapped around, but Solov wins again. It's his 7th consecutive win in Spanish Formula 4. Hugh Barter once again taking the runner-up positions. Outside the top 10, Gail Julian dropped down to 11th after a pretty disastrous last couple of laps where he just got swallowed up by the pack, really. 12th was Philippe Genique. 13th was Theophile Nail in the Centerlock Racing entry. Zulema Zanfari finished 14th. Christian Ho was 15th. Timothy Skacharczyk 16th. The second man who was second in the championship, be disappointed with that again. Jaff Mackills was 17th ahead of Max Meyer. Vladislav Ryabov was 19th, and Marcus Flack rounded up the top 20 with Miran Pingasov coming home 21st ahead of Lola Lovenfoss 22nd. Maxim Markachowski was 23rd. Ricardo Grazia was 24th. Nelson Nato was 25th ahead of Ethan Isher, who was 26th. 27th was Anshul Gandhi ahead of Aurelia Nobels, and the last running driver across the line was David Nogales. Sebastian Gravlund and Alvaro Garcia did not finish. They had an incident together on the opening lap of the race. So congratulations all round. Some very, very, very happy mechanics. And some very, very, very happy drivers. As Solov having a very, very quick debrief. I'm looking forward to race 3 later on today. Hugh Barter coming home second. Congratulates Solov and his mechanics. And towards the end of this race, you could just see this was Barter and Solov going side by side. Looked as if Barter may have just held Solov at bay. Unfortunately, the position was completed, the move was completed off screen. I'm sure it was a titanic battle between the two of them. Lola Lovenfoss in the background there. She'll be on the podium to collect the female trophy in a few moments' time. And Solov getting an interview immediately post-race, as is the courtesy nowadays. That'll be on your social media in about 5 minutes' time. Not a bad race. Lots of action through the field. Plenty of overtaking. Just a one safety car incident today, thankfully. What I can tell you at this point is Solov will be on pole position again for race 3. In fact, I may be able to give you a good portion of the grid now. So unless there are any changes, Solov will be on pole position with Hugh Barter starting on the front row again. Valeria Rinnicella will start 3rd ahead of Christian Ho, who will be 4th. Robert Hahn starts 5th. Miran Pingasov starts 6th. I think that's his best qualifying so far this season. Kira Small starts 7th ahead of Tsanopol Intrapuvazak 8th. Zulema Zanfari is 9th, and Timothy Skacharczyk will be starting 10th. That is the provisional, I underline provisional grid, top 10 for today's 3rd race. As we see an evocative run down the Kemble Straight. The cars in the pit lane. We'll have a very, very brief check before they go out for their third race, which will be going live at 12:40 UK time. That's 1:40 on the continent. Be on the stream maybe 5-10 minutes beforehand. They are the race start times. And of course, being race 3 is 25 minutes plus 1 lap. We're waiting for the podiums to kind of get going. As the paddock readies itself for another classic car meeting. And Kirill Smal takes his position on the podium with Hugh Barter on the second step once again. Good result for him, solidifying his position as third in the standings. Nicholas Solov on the top step, with Lola Lovenfoss taking the female trophy, and a Campos Racing entry taking the team's trophy as well. But first, the trophy's being handed out. Very, very nice little design glass statue with the map of the circuit on. Hugh Barter receiving his award. And came very, very close to taking that win, just usurped on the final lap of the race by this man, Nicholas Solov, who takes his trophy. It is his 8th win of the season, his 7th win in a row. You cannot argue with statistics such as that. He has been imperious for much of the season as the winning team member of Campos Racing gets their trophy as well. And Lola Lovenfoss, it's a rookie trophy. Yes, it's the rookie trophy as well for Nicholas Solov. He's got plenty of those as well, and the female trophy going to Lola Lovenfoss after finishing ahead of Oriel Nobels. And the drivers on the podium all get together for photographs. Very, very, very happy young people on the podium. No, more photographs. And now they pop the bottles of fizz for the podium celebrations. Dreadfully sticky stuff. Nothing quite like on a Sunday evening or a Saturday evening of a race weekend, and just the smell of stinking race suits in the paddock. And so Hugh Barter chatting to some of his compatriots on the podium there. A very, very happy young man. We should hear the Bulgarian national anthem for Solov in a few moments' time. Yeah, I do believe it is playing now. So I can't actually get a feed of it through to my headphones, unfortunately. And congratulations, Nicholas Solov, extending his championship lead in the Spanish Formula 4 Championship. We will return for the final race of this weekend later on today. Do please join us once again. It is going to be around 12:30 UK time, 1:30 on the continent. We'll have a few minutes lead in before the final race begins. As mentioned earlier on, Nicholas Solov is going to be on pole position for that, ahead of seemingly his big rival for this weekend, Hugh Barter. And we look forward to some more fantastic action in that race. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Leo Coleman, and with Spanish Formula 4, we shall return in a few hours' time. Until then, thank you and have a great morning.